In this video help, I'm going to be covering the Tenant List View. Let's go down there to that particular link. The Tenant List View is much like the other list views, where it gives you the tenant name, property occupancy, that is the actual property address, the lease term, the occupancy date, and the lease termination date. This is a very good screen if you have a lot of properties, like some of the people that are using the older versions have several hundred pieces of property. This is a nice way to be able to locate that particular piece of property and information for it as far as the tenant is concerned and the tenants. Now be aware that the property will repeat when you create different tenant records. So if you had Ben, for example, in here, and then the property turned over at the end of his lease to another property tenant, then that would be listed. And that one would be available for you to search on. So you would do the do find in the find mode, and then you could use one of these different fields in order to find the person, either by their name, the property itself. I don't think maybe the lease term would be that important, but the occupancy date and termination dates would be important if you had either properties coming up to be occupied or terminated at the end of a lease. That information would be very valuable to search on and see those records. And as before, you can omit multiple and show only the omitted records within the search, and then go back and show all records at the end of your search. In these cases, the next and prior are not that important as far as cycling through them, because you can actually jump right through each record as you go and find the information. So it's fairly simple to find that particular information. You'll note that when I clicked on this field in the desktop version, it will open up to show you the entire name. In the iPad, that may not necessarily be the case, where it pops up and shows you all the information because of the way that the iPad works in comparison to the desktop versions. This app can also obviously be used on the cloud, where multiple users can access data and edit it from different devices, and even an Android device would be available for them to be able to use an Android device using a browser on any device. In fact, the iPad is not only restricted, although the FMGO gives you a lot of utility as far as the way it prints and does other things and sends PDF files. So it is probably one of the better things to have as far as that particular application. Or if you're on the cloud and using the cloud, you can also use FMGO as a cloud client, where you can actually go to the cloud from the iPad and edit within the iPad, but update on the cloud without having to use a browser. So that's all kind of superfluous information at this point, unless you actually own the app, and if you do, that might be important. And as before, if you click on the record at the end of the row, that will take you to that particular record. So if I wanted to see that record, I would click and it would take me to that record. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send me your questions at the support site. Thank you.